What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another rant from your boy DK. How's everybody doing? Happy 4th of July. Today, guys, I'm gonna rant about online dating, specifically for men. Okay. Um, just before I get into that, though, very quickly, I want to shout out, the people in the comments, commenting, talking to me. I really encourage that, guys. Like, it doesn't have to be about what I was talking about in the video. Like, just let me know how you guys are doing. Talk to me about anything. And of course, give me feedback as always. But just want to quickly shout out the people that have been commenting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the rant, guys. So I think everybody knows, at least everybody listening to this video, right? That online dating, well, it's damn near impossible for men. Okay? If you're not in the top 10% when it comes to looks, it's gonna be a struggle for you. It's going to be a struggle. Um, you know, Online dating, the thing about online dating is, guys, that you know, that cold approach at least has is, you know, online dating is all looks. Everything is determined by looks. Okay, I know there's a whole profile where you can show your interests and you have a bio and blah blah blah. Guys, newsflash. The only time a girl actually reads your bio is if she thinks you're attractive enough to read your bio. Okay? If you're not attractive enough for her, guys, she's not going to read the bio. She's not going to look at the interests, okay? And I would even argue, even if she does find you attractive, she's not going to read that much into your profile. Maybe your bio, but that's it, guys, okay? Like, the whole shebang with dating profiles where they make you fill out all this stuff, no one really looks at it, okay? A girl looks at your photos, your height, and your bio. if your height and you're attractive enough. If your height and your looks pass, okay? Then she'll look at your bio, glance at your bio. But yeah, guys, at least with cold approaching, right? At least if you go up to a stranger in public, you have the ability to a degree, depending on the route you take and how you approach, stuff like that. You have the ability to showcase, your personality, right? Your charm, your conversation ability, maybe, your seduction ability, right? You're able to showcase other things other than your looks, right? I mean, even your status you can maybe, to a degree, because you can, pay for her drinks, or pay for, when you're at a table, right? You can invite her to come to the table at a club or whatever the case may be. Like, to a degree, you can even show your status more. Like, yes, you can show your status on online dating profiles if you're taking pictures on a jet and stuff like that, but it's exacerbated in person. Like, you're able to exacerbate your status more in person, right? And so, guys, if you're not at least a 7, I would say, on dating apps, you're gonna struggle, guys, very, very heavily, even if you are tall, okay? And I'm coming at this, guys, I'm telling you this from personal experience. If you didn't watch my video, my first video, I am tall, okay? I am a tall guy. But being tall doesn't save you, okay? Like, just because you're tall doesn't mean you're gonna pull girls, guys. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to what they tell you on TikTok, mainstream media to a degree, okay? And I'll probably do a video on this, face versus height. I'll do a video on that. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, face matters more than height. I'll leave it at that, though. um, but yeah, guys, like, you have to be pleasant to look at, okay? You have to be very pleasant to look at on online dating apps. I mean, and studies show this time and time again. I mean, you look at the OkCupid study, you look at Tinder studies, all these studies, women only swipe, guys, on the top 10% of men. That's it. They reject 90% of the men they see, guys. 90% of the men they see. It real or is it 5%? I think one of them might be. I think Tinder is 5% of profiles they swipe right on. Like Tinder, guys, is the ultimate. Like you need to be a Chad in order to get matches. Okay, Tinder is like the dating app, and it's the app where you must be a Chad to get success. Must be a Chad, because guys, in my view anyway, Tinder, it is marketed as a dating app, and I know people do go on dates from Tinder, but I think it's used more for as a as a fun time app. Okay, it's an app to have fun time. Okay, that's it is what it is. All right, especially among 18 to 25-year-olds, right? You know, my generation, Gen Z, whatever. It's mainly used for to find fun time partners. Okay. Um, and you know, if you're not really tall and really attractive, guys, it's damn near over on dating apps, because you can have the greatest personality ever, but you can't showcase that on Tinder. You can't showcase that. I mean, yes, can you put maybe a clever bio? Sure, but any guy can probably put a clever bio. Any guy can ask their friend, "Hey, what should I put in my bio?" They can ask, ChatGPT now. They can ask, like, they can copy someone else's, which a lot of guys do too. And I mean, it's easy. It's relatively easy to market yourself in a certain way online. That's why everything is looks. That's why women really care about your looks. They'll look at your bio if you pass, like I said, if you pass in the looks department, but only when you do that, okay? And 95% of men don't do that, okay? So, I mean, the only way I would tell you to get a dating app for girls is if you're at least a 7 out of 10, guys. Because I'll even tell you, recently I re-downloaded Tinder and I had some success, but it fizzles out, as you guys all probably already know. These girls, bro, they just stop responding to you. It is what it is. Um, I remember the first day I got like 10 matches. I was like, oh my God, bro, that's crazy. I know, if a female happens to be listening to this, they're probably like, oh my God, they're probably laughing, chuckling, because they get like 99 plus probably within 2 hours. But, I got 10 matches and I was like, oh my God. And some of these girls, guys, weren't too bad looking. All right. They weren't like, threes, twos, like they were actually decent looking girls. Were they like, oh my God, super hot supermodels? No, but, they were decent looking. And, I'll take what I can get. And we had a couple conversations. I had a couple conversations with a couple girls, but they just stopped responding. And it is what it is, guys. That's what happens. That's what happens. These girls lose interest really quickly. There's always there's a plethora of guys messaging them, right? So girls have a natural abundance mindset, and it's only exacerbated on these dating apps, guys. They have hundreds, if not like 1,000 men DMing them, swiping right on them, messaging them. It's messaging them. Sorry, guys. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, in order for you to try to compete, you have to be at least a 7. Okay, just to get your foot in the door, because they're gonna swipe left on all the 6s, the fives, and especially the sub 5s. Like, if you're a sub 5, guys, don't get Tinder, don't get OkCupid, don't get these dating apps. Okay, they're just gonna make you feel more. They're just gonna make you more insecure. They're gonna make you feel more upset, and there's no point in you damaging your mental health more than it probably already is. Um, you know, it is what it is. Girls care about looks, guys, just as much as we do, okay? Don't let the mainstream media fool you into thinking that, oh, girls care about personality, and if you're unattractive, it doesn't matter, because if you're nice, you'll still get the girl. No, that's all nonsense. That's all nonsense, guys. That's not true. And I think more guys are learning that now, including myself, right? Because I used to believe that too. I used to believe like, oh, and I've said this before in a previous video, but oh, if I have a great personality, then that's all that matters, and blah 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 blah, and that's just not true. Okay, girls are always gonna they're always gonna try to get with the best looking guys, because here's the thing, guys, because girls have such an abundance of options to choose from. There can be a guy that there's nice guys, right? There's guys that have nice personalities who also are chads. Okay, there's nice guy chads. You know, there's chads that have the same personalities. So why the heck would she choose you, 5'9", average in looks, when she can get with a 6'4", very attractive, muscular chad who has the same personality as you, because he's also in her DMs just like you are? Why would she pick you? It makes no sense when she can get a tall, attractive guy over a average height, average looks guy, right? Who has the same personality as you, because they're nice chads. Like, there's this notion that, all these chads, they all have no personality, and you don't need personality if you're tall, if you're attractive, and that's not true either to retain, guys. That's not true to retain. Yes, can you attract a lot of women if you're good looking without having a personality? Sure, but in order to retain them, that's different, okay? Women are not like men, guys, where, and I'm not trying to sit here and act like all men are just like, all men are just driven by their downstairs organ, and all we care about is how she looks, and that's it. Like, as long as she's attractive, who cares if she's a jerk? That's not what I'm trying to say. But women are way more complex. Like, they want a guy that emotionally stimulates them, physically stimulates them. For a man, guys, I mean, this is for most men, just look nice, be pleasant, don't be a 304. You will get 99% of men. 99% of men you will get as a female. But for women, guys, it's a lot different. It's a lot more complicated than that. You have to look nice, you have to act nice, you have to, emotionally, like I said, emotionally stimulate them. You have to be charming, you have to be dominant, right? It's a whole plethora of things. And you can't showcase all that on online dating apps. Once you get the date, you can, but you have to look good in order to get the date first, right? You have to look good to get the text back first. So that's why, and I hate this term, but I'd recommend, guys, try the looks max. Try the looks max as much as possible, okay? I know, I hate that term. It's cringy. It is really cringy. And I know a lot of people think looks maxing is cope, and to a degree it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It is. But, if you could try to look, the best of your ability, like if you can try to get to your ceiling where you can max out in looks, go for it. Because at least you can try. I never encourage just giving up entirely. Always try, guys. Always work hard. Even if you don't see a benefit, even if you think it doesn't matter, try anyway. Okay. I've tried looks maxing to a degree over the past few years. I haven't got much results, but I'm still trying. I'm still trying to a degree. Trying to find ways to look better. But yeah, that's really all you can do to have success on online dating. Sorry to all you average heighters, average lookers out there. It's not a fun time. Even in real life, but especially on online dating. I'm sorry for all you guys like me, tall, unattractive guys, because it's like a tease. Like you're unattractive physically, but you have a good height. Like, if only you looked better, girls would look your way, right? Because you're tall. So when you're taller, people see you, right? People see you first. Naturally, people are going to look at you first. You're like, oh my God, that guy's so tall. That girl's so tall, whatever. And only if you looked better, you could probably get so many more girls. And that's my situation. But yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? But so basically my final message to you guys is don't go on dating apps unless you're a 7. If you're not a 7 and you can potentially looks max to be a 7, go for it. If not, guys, just try cold approaching, okay? If you're trying to get into the dating game, because even though cold approaching is not worth it probably either, if you're not at least a 7 or maybe even an 8. If you want to try and get girls, guys, I would just suggest cold approaching at that point, or warm approaching. I would say warm approaching. Warm approaching is actually way better, especially if you're a sub 5. Like a warm approaching a girl maybe in your class, a girl you're, you know, friends with, a girl you are, you know, in a study group with, you know, whatever, a girl that you're familiar with, a girl you know. Warm approach, guys, okay? Because that's where you're going to get your best results, because they already know your personality, right? They already know your internal value. So now you just have to try to, you know, use that to try to get you to see, to try to get her to see you in a different way, right? You gotta try and woo those girls, guys. But yeah, that's my suggestions to all you boys out there listening to this. And that's gonna be the end of my rant on online dating. I hope I hit everything that you guys wanted me to hit on this. If not, let me know in the comments. You know, have a great day. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing 4th of July. And like, comment, subscribe, as always. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.